Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the world beyond technology, which is right. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. I'm John Aaron. I'm a practitioner here, and I am the spiritual director of CSL Princeton, which means that I get the privilege of experiencing the center of spirituality that each one who joins this service and this center is. And it's a great privilege, so thank you so much. And like I said last week, we are a group of like-minded people who come together to support each other to grow in consciousness. That's what we do here. And so if you're watching from home, we welcome you to join us because we know you are also a like-minded person. If you're watching this, there's a reason why. So thank you so much. Today we have the real honor of having Reverend Dr. Karen Kushner, who's going to be our speaker today, and Regina Quince is our practitioner. And next week, we have Susan Mead, our practitioner, is going to be the speaker, and she's going to be speaking on the sacred yes, followed by Michelle Wadley, Reverend Michelle Wadley. And the first Zoom in September, the first week of each month we do on Zoom, we'll be having Christina Tillotson speaking to us, Reverend Christina, who was the founder of the online teaching, online university of the Centers for Spiritual Living. And every Wednesday at 11:45, Susan leads a wonderful peace meditation online. You'll find the link on our webpage, cslprinceton.org, and on our Facebook page, CSL-Princeton. So thank you for joining us, and I just want to suggest there's a special message for you here today. So listen carefully to what Regina has to offer and to what Reverend Karen has to offer, because there's something in it just for you. Now's the time. Listen. Thank you.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Regina Quince, licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton Teaching Chapter. We'll be gentle. We'll be gentle with ourselves. Let's take a deep breath. Hold it and exhale. I'm going to read from the Science of Mind, the 365 Science of Mind, the first section, and then I have handouts for you to read the second section with me. But before I begin, I've been thinking about practices. What are your practices? And I've come up with a couple of new ones that I shared. I don't know how I found it. Well, you don't have to worry about finding it. You attract it. There's an attraction that's happening in your life, and you attract things. And there is this Caribbean morning song that, well, sung by a Caribbean woman. It has a Caribbean beat to it. And it's so lovely. It's an early morning song where she sings about abundance and waking up and being grateful. And it's just, you just start moving your body. It's lovely. You attract these things to you. I want to talk about a practice with Susan, with her 11:45 meditation. It is lovely when it comes. If you, especially Wednesday being the hump day, got it. Half of the week is and at 11:45, that's like half the week. So when you need an uplift, when you need to allow discord to dissipate into your experience, out of your experience, I should say, come and join Susan at 11:45. When she comes, it's a lovely gathering of us to inspire us to rest our souls for a moment, to surrender into the oneness that we are, and allow the divine presence that's in us, as us, and of us to be experienced. Just create a new habit, or another habit, or continue the habit, but have habits, practices. All right? Okay. I'm going to read to you, divine power is mine in use. Did you kind of see the divine power in mine in use? Everything in nature is an individualization of one coordinating life, one law of being, one presence. The mind has become so filled with that which contradicts this idea that even the truth has to await our recognition. You must learn to become consciously aware of the divine presence and the divine power, the wholeness of truth, of love, of reason, and of a sound mind. Instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, cause your mind to dwell on peace and joy. Know that the power of the invisible spirit is working in and through you now, at this very moment. Lay hold of this realization with complete certainty. Now, read with me. And I'd like you to read slowly. We're not in a race. Just read slowly so you can absorb what is being communicated to you. I know that I am a perfect being now, living under perfect conditions today, knowing that good alone is real. I accept that there is one power that acts and reacts in my experience, in my body, and in my thought. I know that good alone has power either to act or react. I know that this recognition establishes the law of harmony in my experience, the law of prosperity, a sense of happiness, peace, health, and joy. Today, I hold a communion with this invisible presence that peoples the world with the manifestation of its life, its light, and its love. I withdraw the veil that hides my real self and draw close to the Spirit in everything and in everyone. I accept everything that belongs to this Spirit. I claim everything that partakes of its nature. Now that could be a new practice for this week. It's to say that. So fold it up and hold on to it. And I'm going to state a knowingness, an affirmative prayer, a spiritual mind treatment for each of us here, each of us listening virtually, each of us knowing the truth of who we are, who created us, the source of our being, and the power that's within us. For we acknowledge the oneness, the one idea, the one mind, the one peace and harmony, the one abundance, the one power from within that is within us, that is drawn in us to be expressed from us. This is the truth. Each of us is the beloved creation of this one mind. And each of us has the opportunity to allow this one mind to express itself fully and completely through us. And so those desires of our heart, those ideas in each of the letters that you wrote in the beginning of the year, we allow these ideas to form, to evolve, to be supported by you right here and right now. For this is the one mind, the consciousness that we allow to be here with us, in us, and as us. And in those moments where we're confused and we have lethargy, we just don't know where to turn, we accept the fact that we do know where to turn. We turn within. We allow the graciousness and the goodness of God to comfort us and to direct our souls being that creative force within us that was given to us to make all things new in our experience. And so with this gratitude of knowing this truth, I send this word to law, knowing law makes it so. It is so. And say with me, and so it is. And now, Scott.
Non, je ne regrette rien, rien. Il a bien commencé, ni la main, tout ça m'est bien égal. Oh, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est payé, balayer, oublier, jamais fou de passer. Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai allumé le feu, mes chagrins, mes plaisirs. Ah, je n'ai plus besoin de balayer les amours. Avec tout travail, à balayer tout pour toujours, je vais pas zéro. Oh, rien de rien, non, je ne regrette rien. Il a bien commencé, dis-moi, tout ça m'est bien égal. Oh, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est ma vie comme les joies. Aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi. Privilege to bring here our offering for today is Reverend Dr. Karen Kushner.
Does Stephen PF sing that? I actually think I have it in my car.
Yeah.
So I'll play it on the way home. All right, so our topic today is living with no regrets. And the reason why that came to me was I have a year-long intention of reading this book by Charles Fillmore called Christian Healing. It's a rather dull book, but he has one sentence in it which caught my eye and which I wish he had explained further, but he just kind of threw it out there and went on about something that I thought was unrelated. And this is it. Have faith in what you do, and after it is done, do not condemn yourself. So I write a monthly treatment for the ministers of our organization, Centers for Spiritual Living, and I used that quote and I wrote a spiritual mind treatment for trusting what I am guided to do. And in it, I talk about letting go of regrets and other such things. And the reason why this is important is, let's see who wrote this book. Paul Tillich. He writes, life could not continue without throwing the past into the past, liberating the present from its burden. And so when I think about regrets, I think of things in my past that I have not yet reconciled in my mind that it was good. So a couple of my regrets. One regret I have is my mother. The very last interchange, the very last time I was with her, the day that she made her transition, we had a wonderful morning celebrating my brother's birthday, and we each were going to our separate cars. And back then I was very, very busy. And I felt my mother at her car look at me, and I felt like she wanted me to turn and look at her and say, toodles, goodbye. And I chose not to, because I was very busy. And I knew that if I turned to look at her, it would delay me, and maybe we would talk some more. And so I consciously chose not to look at her, got in my car, went and did my busy thing, and then discovered that was my last chance to see her. Oh. Another choice I made, I had moved to New York, and I received 3 different job offers. And I had to choose. And back then I was totally clueless. I was an atheist, so I didn't have the divine guidance guiding me. And one job sounded very exciting, very demanding. And another job sounded similar, but not so demanding. And a third job was with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. And then something happened this past week. We have a family of feral cats in our neighborhood, and our favorite one is Missy. Missy is the one that's most approachable, and I've been luring her into my house. She always wants to go back outside. Cute little cat, very friendly. Sometimes she'll let you pat her a little bit. She'll definitely let you feed her. And she's the mother of 7 other cats who are not as friendly. Well, we found Missy dead. And I wonder if it was my car. I don't know. I'll never know. Regrets. I've been, a year ago this time, I made a decision to learn to memorize 1 poem each month. And my 4th month, I started working on The Road Less Traveled. And then I forgot all about my intention for the next 7 months. And then this year, when August rolled around again, I'm like, oh yeah, what happened to that? And then I had to rememorize the first 3 poems because I had forgotten them. And I began working on The Road Less Traveled again. And I realized that The Road Less Traveled is kind of about the choice. It is definitely about the choices we make, but it's also dealing with the possibility of regret for the road that you didn't take. And he says that, at one point he says, I don't have it memorized yet, but he says, oh, I'll save the one for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. And years from now, I will look back and sigh. But I know that I took the road less traveled, and that has made all the difference. So let's talk about our choices. The treatment that I wrote says, I accept that all the wisdom of God is available to me, and I receive that wisdom that is at my level of understanding. Now see, that's what we don't like. Our level of understanding of the past, right? And then I write, I trust that my level of understanding is enough. And any tendency or habit I have of judging my past deeds with my today consciousness is now inactive. So the one thing that we want to realize about regret is we were guided to do, whether we believed in a divine guidance or not, at the level of our understanding at that time and with the consciousness we had at that time. And so it was enough. That's all we had. But when I look back, I'm looking back with today's consciousness, and I'm like so evolved now that, everything I did, I can look back and say, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? And that's an interesting and important question if we want to deal with and face any kind of choice that we made in the past that we now question. What was I thinking? Because it is our thoughts that create our choices. And we have to accept that this is enough. And this is one of the things that I work with. Accepting I'm human. Right? We talk about spiritual beings, I am perfect, whole, and complete, and I'm like, I do all these treatments, we do this spiritual practice, we're ready to go, and then we perhaps stumble. And I don't know if it was I know it was something that somebody said or sang or whatever. This realization that we are one. One. And somehow everything in this one is in perfect harmony with everything else. It has to be. For the universe is one. Every planet, every meteor, every Perseids, meteor shower, whatever, everything has to be in its right place for everything to be in balance and in order and harmony. And that includes us, and it includes our human choices. We are, whether we like it or not, believe it or not, we are part of the whole, and we have a place in that whole. And wherever that place is, it is for the greater, the balance, the harmony of everything else. And even at our level of understanding, there might be a stupid meteor out there, right? That meteor is guided and is in its right place with its stupidity factored in. It's like the divine says, well, I know this is a stupid meteor, and it's got stupid reasons for doing what it's doing. So I take that into account in my great universal equation to make sure it's in the right place, always in balance and harmony with everything else. And so somehow with these choices that we made, we have got to accept. So self-acceptance is critical to living your life with no regrets. We must accept, yes, I am where I am right now, and I was where I was in the past. And somehow, both places, I had to be where I was, I had to do what I did, I had to choose what I chose for the highest and the greatest good of all. Somehow, in some way, which I might never know, I have to trust that the divine makes sure, little atheist me made the right choice for the greatest good of all. For the greatest good of all. And so, my mother, I've always thought, oh, I wish I had turned and looked. Even though I also know what I also have learned in losing people who have made their transition, it's never enough, right? One more look. So if I had turned and looked, I know I would wish I had said one more thing. I had given her one more hug. I know that it's never enough because you love and you always want one more little, no matter how much you have, one more little extra. So I accept that. And I also had to accept, okay, that was my level of understanding at the time. I'm busy. And Mom, enough already. I've had you my whole life. Maybe my turn and looking at her might have been too much for me to bear. And I wouldn't have understood until later. Maybe my turning to look at her would have made it harder for her to move on when she knew it was her time to move on. I don't know. So there's other possibilities that occur to me, and we have to trust. We have to trust somehow it's for the greatest good of all. It had to be arranged in that order for my mother to move on with peace, and she had the most peaceful transition I can imagine, and for me to move on into my greater life. And so it was a symbol of letting her go before she went, but she was going. And I have to accept that, accept myself, accept her, accept the whole thing, move on. Right? But love wants it all. So I chose the job with, I can't even remember. Oh, I chose the job with Irving Trust Company. Boring job. And right after I took that job, we began divorce proceedings. And so that nice, boring job was perfect for the emotional wreck that I became those first few months I was hired. And I wouldn't have been successful in the more exciting job because I just didn't have the emotional energy to handle it. And I didn't take the Port Authority job, where that path, that road, more traveled for me. If I had taken it, I would have been a career employee, and we all know what happened to that. So 30 years later, I discover I made the right choice. Sometimes we don't get to know that, but I made the right choice for being here where I am today. Somehow that boring job at Irving Trust Company, and be so boring that I left to become an actress, and that unsuccessful acting career, I kept searching more, and I found that, I became a minister, and here I am today because of that choice. Because of that choice. And the little Missy cat, right? I'm human. It's important to accept that. And to remind myself, every time I back out of any parking spot, I now have that little screen, which shows me the back, right? So you look in the mirror, you look in that mirror, you look in that mirror, you look there, you look all around, you blah, 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 blah. It's too much. In most parking lots, there's just too much happening. There's people walking, there's animals walking, there's other cars not paying any attention whatsoever. Only the God within me can back out of that car. And so every time I put my car in reverse, I say, the Christ within me drives this car. I say it every time. My intention is good and to do good. I have to remember that's my intention, that's what I say. Somehow, I am in the right place at the right time, doing and saying the right thing for the highest and greatest good of all, and that includes little Missy. And if it were my car, I suspect if it were, she ran into it and ricocheted off. That's the only thing I can imagine. Sometimes we do that for each other. help each other move on? Sometimes we do that, right? It's not a bad thing to move on. So far as I know, everybody's done it. I'm not sure that I will ever do that or you will ever do that, but sometimes we need a little bit of assistance when we know it's time to go, right? So we have to realize, I made some notes, that accepting ourselves today requires that we accept our past self, even though it was more ignorant, more innocent, more clueless than we are today. Even though it might have been maybe more selfish, more fearful. Somehow, that divine universal one, it's factoring all that in for us. So that we're always in the right time at the right place for the highest and greatest good of all. And sometimes, yes, I have been the example to others of how not to behave. We take turns at that. It's not fair that someone never be the bad example. It's not fair. So maybe it's your day to be the rotten example so everyone else can feel better about themselves. We do that in love. We do that in love. Years ago, I was very young, and I went to a very, very old high school reunion for the first time, and roomed with my best friend back in elementary school, high school, whatever. And we were sharing stories, and she said, "Do you remember when we went to the TV station and we were on that show? I don't know, like Romper Room or one of those shows or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, is that where I was?" Because I didn't remember any of this fabulous stuff, because what did I do? I stole something. I stole something. There was a weather map. And it had these little magnetic words, like cloudy, sunny, and I took rain. I don't know what happened to it, but I remember it. And now I know why I remember I didn't enjoy the show, because as soon as we had passed the weather map, I couldn't get it back. I regretted it immediately, and I couldn't put it back because we never went by the weather map again. And I didn't know how to say, "Excuse me, I need to go back to the weather map because I stole rain." And I remember thinking, that poor weatherman. That night he would have to go there to do the weather, and what if there's rain? There's no rain there. He wouldn't be able to tell the whole world that it was going to rain. So I have regretted that, because I stole something. And I can't correct it, right? They say make amends. I can't make amends. I guess I could Google what TV station existed in the Cheverly, Maryland area in 1956 or something like that. Maybe I could find it, and I could, make a donation with accumulated interest over the years or something, or find the weatherman or his heirs, and I don't know, whatever. What's that?
You could go back and do a rain dance.
I could do a rain dance, yes. There's things I could do. However,
Look on eBay.
look on eBay. Where's rain? Or maybe that little act of thievery in me, and knowing how awful it feels, has guided me to never steal another thing the rest of my life. I cannot. When I was a minister here, and I'd be in the office, and I would be like having to get stamps to mail, back when we used to mail things. And I would have my stamps, and it would be the church's stamps. And every once in a while, the church would run out of stamps. So I would use one of my stamps, but I would make sure that I used a stamp for the church to make it even Steven, and vice versa. And that's why I don't like it when people lend me things, because I have to remember to give it back, and I don't. But then if I don't give it back, isn't that kind of thievery or whatever? Anyway. So because of that one simple act as a child, I am rigorous in that particular quality of honesty. So it was a good thing, maybe, for the highest and greatest good of all, and maybe they needed to get a new weather map, and maybe it never rained again because I took it. I really don't know how it all transpired, but we have to see self-acceptance and trust in that we are, because we're one with the one. The divine always orchestrates everything at the highest and the greatest good of all. And we do, right? Each and every moment we have a choice. And we choose whatever we choose. But what we have to realize is that we cannot make a wrong choice ever. Because if the only wrong choice that there is the choice that would have been out of harmony with the whole, with the greatest good of all. And again, with self-acceptance and self-love, we accept our humanity, our human experience in the relative. Yes, we want to bring the divine into the harmony of the whole, but the harmony of the whole sometimes requires some activities that I would judge to be bad. But the harmony of the whole is always God's business, not mine. So, self-acceptance, tons of self-love. I have been living with the thought of Missy, and I have thought any of the neighbors could have done it, or even some sort of delivery van or something. But let's live with the possibility it was me. Can I love myself? To be determined. But can I love someone else who might have been the one? Absolutely. Can I love me? I'm working on it. It's my little spiritual practice this week. Can I love myself if that is so? Challenging. So, going back to our question of regrets, right? So I've learned self-acceptance, which includes the acceptance of my yesterday self. Love, self-love today, and love my past self. Let go of the past. How do I let go of it? I take a look at, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Because those were the beliefs that I want to perhaps grow out of in today's consciousness. And so I have an opportunity now to grow because of that choice of the past and what I learned from it. When I asked myself, what was I thinking? I remember one time I was at a board of directors meeting, one of my first with, at the time it was the International Centers for Spiritual Living, brand newbie, and we were all sharing long 2-day meetings. I've wiped most of it out, except for I do remember at some point we were talking about some ministers who had a question about, there might have been an issue or something, and I thought of something really snarky to say, funny, and everybody laughed. And I love to make people laugh, so I said something a little snarky, which then prompted someone to say something very loving and accepting about them. And everyone agreed, and we got back on track. And I remember going back going, damn, I wish I was the one who said the good thing instead of the one that said the snarky thing. So what was I thinking? I remember thinking very clearly, what was I thinking? Well, I like to make people laugh, and, comedian, you make these little jokes, and the joke was there. I had to say it. It came into my mind. Everybody laughed. That was a good thing. But I can continue to be that consciousness, or after the other person said something so loving and accepting, I could grow into that, but I have to give up my little snarky side. And so I still aspire to be the loving one, saying the good thing. It's challenging, but I'm getting better because I choose. If you can't say something nice, say nothing at all. I've learned how to keep my mouth shut. A lot. Because the snarky, funny little things do come into the mind, and you're like, no, you don't want to say that one. Because I know how I'll feel, and I know the other path, less traveled. I want that. So when we realize that we have something that we've done in the past that we now, with this consciousness, have not finished with, what we do is we ask ourselves, what was I thinking? And then we make a choice in this fresh now consciousness. And what do I want to choose in the future? I need to change what I'm thinking. I need to change myself. And so that's our new choice that we make with today's consciousness. And whether we choose to change or not, we've got another opportunity with tomorrow's consciousness. So we might do that. So, my treatment is, let's do that now. It's a spiritual mind treatment for trusting what I am guided to do. Infinite wisdom, the all-good and the loving presence, guides me in all that I say and do. I listen to its guidance moment to moment. I accept that all the wisdom of God is available to me, and I receive that wisdom that is at my level of understanding. I trust that my level of understanding is enough. I believe that the infinite intelligence knows all that I know, as well as all that is part of my greater good to be. I accept that somehow the divine guidance I receive today is for the highest and greatest good of all. Therefore, I have faith that all that I do and all that I fail to do is somehow a part of that great creative activity of moving everyone from good to greater good. Any tendency or habit I have of judging my past deeds with my today consciousness is now inactive. I know that my choices with today's consciousness are perfect right action for today, and that this is true of the choices made with yesterday's consciousness. I choose to know that I am always in the right place at the right time with the right people, saying and doing the right thing for the highest and greatest good of all. This is true of every action in the universe, and it is true of my every action. Any self-doubt, second-guessing, regret, and guilt from any past action is now vanished. I live fully now. And right now, all is well with me. I speak this word and release it into the law, knowing it is so, and so it is.
Yes, it is. Well, you kind of took the snarky out of me. So grateful for you sharing such intimate, experiences you've had. It really made me think and reflect and hopefully release some of the angst that I have in the transitions of people, the things that I've done, it really helps. So, helping us. If you're in virtual land, you can go to cslprinceton.org and scroll down the page and you'll see our donate button. And from what I understand from one of our parishioners, that you can also click on the Venmo button once you hit donate. So if you like Venmo, use that. PayPal, well, it's almost the same thing, or, a check. We appreciate it because that's how we get to have great speakers here every Sunday, either face-to-face or virtually. This is how we do it. It's your donations that bring them here, and it really helps us. So, with that in mind, I'm going to pass this basket. I'm going to go this way first, and Scott, can you sing a little gratitude song?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's going to.
Thank you.
I said Reverend Karen was an offering, a spiritual offering for our hearts. So this is,
Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I've got to be me. I've got to be me. What else can I be but what I am? I want to live, not merely survive. And I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive. I've got to be me. I've got to be me. This dream that I see makes me what I am. That faraway prize, the world of success, is waiting for me if I heed the call. I won't settle down, won't settle for less, as long as there's a chance that I can have it all. I'll go it alone, that's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I've got to be me. I've got to be free. Why, this dream that I see makes me what I am.
Thank you. And that was our closing treatment. So thank you everyone for being with us today. Have a wonderful week. Practice, practice, practice.
get to Carnegie Hall.
Pardon?
Practice, 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 and you'll get to Carnegie Hall.
Oh, and you'll get to Carnegie Hall.
It's an old joke.
It's an old joke.
Is that snarky?
No.
Thank you. You can shut us down. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's still on.
Are you going to do a closing? Reverend Karen?
No, she already